Welcome to the Coochie Church. This is our second part to Safety is Our Divine Birthright. A couple of weeks ago, Sunday, I went in and expressed, the mothers gave me a download on how safety is our divine birthright. And I also shared the trap, the curse, and the spell that was actually put over us during our matriarchal rule, during ancient times with the ancient mothers, and how there was a curse put over us and men in particular. But because we are connected and they overthrew us.
God, ever I say. Ugh.
They told me to express that we keep looking at the wrong person. We keep blaming the white man. And it is not the white man. The white man has been used by the mothers as the whipping stick for the mother against the black man. During our matriarchy, in our rule, in better parts of Mesopotamia, in Africa, in ancient times, there was a matriarchy. It was matriarchal lineage. And in that lineage, the black man basically knew his place, and he stood beside us, true enough, but he also honored the mothers. He honored the womb. He honored the creative source of nature. He honored the law and principle and universal presence of the divine feminine. He understood this and he knew this, but somewhere they became envious of our connection and our resource to spirit, to the creator, the creatress, and our gifts of prophecy, our gifts of being oracles, our gifts of healing, and one of the biggest gifts is being able to give birth. And in those times, there was parthenogenesis, where we could give birth on our own. We didn't necessarily even need them. Okay, so with that, men in those times were servants, not in the way of being slaves, but servants to the mothers, to the divine feminine. Black men became envious and no longer wanted to serve the mothers. They desired to have their own system and political guard and leadership. And they went to the Romans and the Greeks, the heads of states, because during that time of the mothers, all heads of states from many, many different regions, Greece, Rome, and other European states, came to the black women, the sibyls, the oracles, the mothers, for consultations, for prophecy, for interpreting dreams, and other advisory knowledge and information so that they can go forth and rule their kingdom. Black men connected and went to the heads and political leaders of Greece and Rome to overthrow the goddess temples and the mothers. This is what happened. Now, when it comes to patriarchy, this is what the black men wanted. So what they didn't factor in is that the heads of states and the politicians in Greece and Rome they were going to help them overthrow the goddess in the matriarchy, the mothers, but they didn't factor in that they was going to be betrayed by Greece and Rome. This is where the faultiness comes in. They didn't know they were going to be betrayed. But mother, still in her power, put a curse on black men. This is what we're seeing today. We're seeing the unraveling of the curse. And because the black men had this curse on them mean that we also were casualties. Be clear, we were casualties in this, and we were also, as Black women, under a spell. Okay, now the spell has been broken, and this is why you see we are seeing Black men in this light that we have not seen them before. What we have to remember is that it's always been there. This has always been there, but because we are the mothers and the nurturers, we have enabled them and coddled them. Okay, we have, we have some fault in this, right? Now, I say this and I give you this precursor because I got to get you here. When they destroyed the mothers' temples in matriarchy, then they took the prophetess, the priestess, the oracles, and the healers, and the daughters. And what they did is they created us to be slaves and property, and also sold us into prostitution. Okay, this is what you're seeing with our women. You're seeing the unfolding of it right now. This is why the Black culture, the community is in the condition it is in, because the spell is being broken. Right? We're coming into the return of the matriarch. We are disassociating ourselves from these angry, envious, predatory behavior of our men, and we're disassociating ourselves, and they are angry about that. And it's coming out, and they are volatile, and they are hostile. I will not apologize for what I am saying, because I'm giving you the download from the mothers, and I will not apologize for anything they give me.
Oh, yeah.
So I needed to begin with this because last week, 2 weeks ago, we came in to discuss safety being our divine birthright. And if you haven't had a chance to listen to the Coochie Church 2 weeks ago, safety is our divine birthright, please go listen to it. That's where we go in to speak about being safe, being secure, feeling comfortable, and we even had some beautiful breakthroughs where sisters expressed their vulnerability around men and how their predatory behavior has not only caused us pain as Black women, but our mothers, our grandmothers, and now our daughters. So we need to understand, why is it that the Black woman has never felt safe? And this is how we came into it. This is what made me ask the question. I asked the question because my dear sister, me and Eve, was on the phone. And we were on the phone, and I said, Eve, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever felt safe? Sis, have you ever felt safe? And she was like, sis, damn. We was on pause for a minute. Like, the whole room shut down. We both got quiet for at least, about 60 seconds, Eve? A full 60 seconds, we was just quiet. And she said, I got to sit back and think about that, Tracey, because I don't think I've ever felt safe. I said, you know what, sis? I haven't. And at that moment, we said a few more words, but we both were stuck in it. We had to get off the phone because this was something now we had to process. And it was something, I don't think we talked another 2 months. I think it took us 2 months to get back to it, right? So, when I put out a post, I noticed that sisters was hitting me in the inbox and sisters was answering on the post, and they were saying the same thing, that they too have never felt safe. They can't remember when they ever felt safe. I said, oh, this is a situation. This is a situation, and we got to get to it. We definitely got to get to it. So I'm gonna bring on my sister, who I love dearly, who has shared sacred space with me, who has shared ritual with me, who I've been to her, she's been to me. I've stayed at her house, she stayed in my house. I've ate her food, she's eaten my food. You know, this sister right here, I love dearly, and she has some beautiful medicine of healing and a message for y'all sisters. And I want you to understand why I love her so much, and you'll understand that when she gets to conversating and sharing her wisdom with y'all. Welcome, Eve. Hi, baby. I love you.
Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I'm honored. It's such a huge part of my integration and reparations. So thank you for allowing me this opportunity to share space and be a part of this mass healing that's taking place. I also want to ask if you can put on the caption so we can support our hearing impaired sisters that may watch this later. I'm not sure if you could do that.
Where is that located?
I don't know. I just know it's an option on here. I would have to play around with it.
Okay, then so what I'll do is when I go back to it and stuff, I'll try to go back in and make sure that it comes up.
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you. Thank you for that. Captions. Uh-oh, I see you right here. Show captions. Okay, we got something going on. Yes. English. Oh, okay.
Okay, well, there it is. Thank you. Yes, thank you for that beautiful introductory. Whew. I don't even know where to start. When you presented that question to me, my first thought was, I thought about the material aspect of feeling safety, coming up out of struggle as it relates to being a single mom and being able to provide for my children in the time. But as I dove deeper into that question, I was just like, wow, like it was really hard to unpack. And I feel like where I'm at now, you know, they say there's levels to this shit. Well, there's layers. And the layers where I'm at right now is really unpacking the toxic paternal masculinity that to even say it has been a challenge, because I could go back to think about my grandfather, who I love dearly, my dad, who I love dearly, but that is actually the root of all of it. So anyhow, that took me down a journey. I realized when I had transitioned from the Big Island, I went there to do a lot of healing work on my maternal bloodline.
Big Island, please tell everybody what that is.
Oh, the Big Island of Hawaii. Okay. Which is a very powerful sacred place. The healing properties there are amazing. And I was just so focused on healing my maternal bloodline, or the wombs, dealing with the womb. And I didn't realize the flip side to that on my paternal side. It wasn't until I left the island to transition back to the mainland and go prepare my vehicle for travel when I had shrunk, and everything that I had implemented was I was questioning, and that came from my father, very verbally abusive, you know, as a child, even physically abusive, mentally abusive, all of these things. And so I said, wow, I said, Eve, you got work to do. Like, you really got to get to it. But I had no idea what that would really entail at the time. And it's even now still difficult for me. I'm finding myself in challenges in those cycles still surfacing. But now I'm able to, I see trusting myself, loving myself on a different level to where it's not about them. It's not about hurting their feelings or exposing them or any of these things. It's about speaking my truth, honoring myself. And so, yeah, as a little girl, like not feeling safe, not feeling comfortable to be in my own body because, oh, you're pretty, you have pretty lips, you have pretty eyes, you know, all of these things. The mental abuse, it goes deep. It goes really, 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 really deep. I feel like I'm kind of all over the place. So bring me back if you know. But yeah, just being violated by almost, no, I'm not gonna say almost, by a lot of men that I've came encounter with, being in spaces and family gatherings where I can literally sense being undressed, you know, with the eyes, just the extra uncomfortable hugs, you know, all of those things. And even in relationships, because I attracted that predatory behavior because it was safe. That was my foundation. That's what I thought was love. I'm a daddy's girl, you know. So yeah, so I'm here now. And recently I attracted that predatory behavior, and I had to go deeper into the nooks and crannies of my cellular DNA to figure out, like, well, what is this, Eve? And it was so painful. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And just about being safe. That's something that we all really have to explore as Black women. That's something we really have to explore. And first off, I want to shout out the fathers and the men who are of a higher consciousness and not predatory. You see what I'm saying? Because men are natural predators. They're hunters, natural. And usually the prey is what? Women and girls. Let's be real. Women and girls. So shouts out to the men who are of a higher consciousness, and we hold divine respect for you. So you wouldn't be part of this conversation other than you helping the lower frequency men get their minds right and get them together. That's what I feel like you're held responsible for. You know what I'm saying? And we have to be clear, even in that, some of them just aren't going to get it. Some of them are just too far gone. They're not going to get it. They have an entitlement piece to patriarchy. They feel entitled to our bodies. They feel entitled to our sexuality, right? Do you know just about every reproductive part on a woman's body is named after a man? Yes. Every reproductive part that is on a woman's body is named after a man. The father of OBGYN, okay? His name is Joseph, I think Joseph Sims. I teach this in our class. He took Black slave women and performed hysterectomies and other reproductive surgeries on these young Black slave women without any anesthesia, because we Black women are known in the patriarchy to not be able to endure pain. We endure high amounts of pain, not like other nationalities in other cultures. Black women are known to endure high levels of pain. If you notice, when we go into the hospitals, it'll be a while before they address your pain, because they just took out of the books, the actual journals, medical journals, they just took this out just 8 years ago. We're in 2023. Just 8 years ago, they removed the content in the book that said Black people are able to endure high amounts of pain. They just removed it. So this is something that was being taught in the medical system. Black women are described what? As strong before they are described as beautiful. You never heard them say that's a strong white woman. Mm. A strong Hispanic. Never heard that. But you constantly hear what? That's a strong Black woman. Black women are strong. And you know what? We've been under a spell that where now we keep up with that. We do our best to maintain that label of being strong. And now Black women are starting to open their throat chakras. The throat chakras open, baby, because now we're starting to say, look, it's time out for all the strong. I need and I desire. Before we wouldn't even share our needs. We just hold even our needs in to the point that we were slowly breaking down. We were slowly becoming what? Numb. How many of us can say that we actually come to a certain point of being numb? I can. I can say that. If you can say that, put a 1 in the chat. You've gotten to a space and a place where you've learned how to survive and also be numb so that you can continue just to move through and continue to do what it is you need to do on a daily basis. Don't think about it. Don't feel it. Just move through it. Move through it. Why? Because that's what we were taught by who? Mama and them, grandmama and them. Just move through it, baby. You're going to be all right. Just move through it. You're going to be all right. You can do it. You strong. You strong. They're reinforcing it. And this is something that we also, I'm angry about this. And I'm going to share it here. How grandmama, mama, even some of the men, I'm going to say this, we are the only culture where our men don't check our other men when they have wronged us or they have violated us. We are the only culture. Other cultures can go to their men and say, so-and-so did something to me. Or other cultures can go to their men and they'll go to another man. Like, you remember, it was a time when Black men couldn't wink at white women. They couldn't say nothing to white women, right? The white women would lie, and the white man would come over there and beat the shit out of the Black man and make him an example, hang him and everything, right? There was a time. That's how they did their women. But Black men don't do that for us. Come on, let's just keep it real. You have a small amount that will stand 10 toes down for the Black woman. Many times we are left unprotected. And then they blame us for being more masculine in a masculine-dominated society where we have to use more of our masculine energy, because not only do we have to protect ourselves, we have to protect our children and our homes. We have to put on this hardness. We have to be more masculine. We have been given no other choice. We haven't been given another choice. So now we're at a state, a place where we're being ostracized, ridiculed, and criticized for being more masculine than feminine, but yet we had no other choice. This is what we was left to do. Now we know how to go get it. And now we're bringing it back home. And when you don't do, if we ask you to do something and you don't do it, or you don't do it when we need it to be done, we go do it ourselves. And now you tell us we trying to be the man. No, we really are allowing you to be the man. But since you're not standing up to be the man, we got to go step into that role, which is not our role. We are out of place. We are displaced. We are not even in divine alignment, but we got to go there. And each time it shrinks us a little more in our femininity each time, because we got to stand in a role that we're not supposed to even be in. We're in a role that we're really not aligned with.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're at this space and place to where now our situation between Black men and Black women it's heightened. The relationship is heightened. And in this heightened, hostile relationship, now we're going to have to really start taking on some strategies and getting some reinforcement, because Black men are becoming more and more hostile with us, because their position has been forfeited. They're uncomfortable. We're no longer nurturing. We're no longer comforting. We're no longer enabling. We've removed our breasts. We've removed the comfort of the breast. So things are becoming more hostile. We had the two twins. I know you heard about the twins. It was in front of a store, and one of the guys made an advance at them, and they didn't take these advances. So he stabbed them, and one of them is dead. There's another one over towards Delaware. Same thing. Two girls, sisters, didn't take the advances of this young man. So he what? Stabbed one in the throat. She's dead.
Mm.
These younger men especially are becoming angrier and angrier. So as women, as mothers, as Black women, I need us to form this alliance and speak today about how do we begin to truly heal from not being represented as children. Because see, the part I'm really angry about is how men have been able to be inappropriate with us at young ages, and they still be able to come to the family barbecue and not be chick. See, that part for me. Now, I done told the story. I done told you, mama done told you, grandmama done told you, so everybody know, but everybody's still passing this motherfucker drinking a plate. I never felt protected because of that right there.
Mm-hmm.
How is this allowed? Why haven't one of my family members, my men family members, or the men that said they love me, knocked this nigga out yet? Why he ain't been knocked the fuck out? Okay, we didn't take it to the white man, but how do we hold court within our community? Nobody has held court on this in the community, and that's why many of our younger sisters now are so sexually explicit. This is one of the reasons they are so sexually explicit. Because now they're expressing it in this way, because it was something that was shunned, and it was something that was suppressed, and it was something that was kept quiet for so long. Now this is the how it's coming out. This is how it's being expressed. It's being expressed now with the Cardi B's and the Sexy Reds. This is how it's being expressed. Eve, you got anything to say?
There was a lot there. One of the things I wanted to touch on is even our boys, our younger boys. You know, I raised boys, and the anger that's present there that, you know, came through my portal, as well as that's just in his DNA, you know, from his father, and this deep hate that we're speaking of. And just even seeing how the dynamic of these kids, how they talk to each other and how they treat each other, is very sick. But I will say that you know, for me and mine, I have worked with him, and I see a change, but that is also something that I feel we need to um, stay on top of. You know, even the boys, is the girls, yes, but the boys too. Um, and even my oldest son telling me how he has been made fun of or dismissed because he says, oh, is it okay for me to kiss you, or is it okay for me to, you know, put my arm around your shoulder, and he's being made fun of, you know, so
Because he's asking.
because he's asking for
Yes.
permission.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, I don't fit in over here, and I don't fit over here because his friends, you know, they're making fun of him too. Like, oh, it's a spoiler moment, you know, this, that, and the third. So there's a lot of redirecting that needs to take place, conversations that need to be had. As far as the just normalizing that behavior, like, yes, like, why are these people not being held accountable? But I said, look, I made it public. This family gathering, don't come over here with all that hugging and all that inappropriate behavior, because I'm gonna call it out, you know. So I don't play that mess. And even in my kids, if you don't want to hug somebody, you don't have to hug them. You know,
Yes.
that's that I had the privilege of. If I didn't want to go with somebody and I cried and said I didn't want to go, I had to go and still got my ass whooped, you know. And so just those little behaviors, you know, fine tuning that within the now, you know, reiterating feeling safe in your body, identifying what that looks like, you know, why am I feeling this, you know, the red flags, because you're the 9 times 10, the anxiety, your womb is speaking to you, you know, it already senses that behavior. So I think it's important teaching our babies, that boys and girls, how to be in tune with their body, how to recognize what it is that their body is saying, and honoring that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yes. And I want to say to your point, Eve, you said a very good point about teaching the boys. And I remember, this is what I have said. I said it on a few of our last Coochie church sermons, but I also have said this personally with you, Eve, that I am not dealing with men other than the men in my circle, as far as my sons, my grandsons, my uncle, my dad. Those are the men that I feel I'm responsible to help and teach. Anyone up out of that, I'm not dealing with that, because what that does, it just makes me vulnerable to the predatory behavior of how they feel entitled in this patriarch. This patriarch has groomed them to feel entitled to our bodies, to feel entitled to our resources, to feel that we are the supply. And I'll say that again. As women, we are the resource and supply in every area. And I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about our ability to create and multiply as feminine energy. We are the resource, is the supply. If we are in alignment with that, we can multiply anything. Anything. That is who we are naturally. So even if they come to you and all they want is your sexuality, they want, you know, they want to feel the inside and the comfort and the warmth and the wetness and even if they want that, that is still a resource for them, to where they are actually harnessing your life force energy so that they can take it somewhere else and create and manipulate. Understand, we are always the resource and the supply, and they will have you to feel that they are the prize, they are the resource and supply. If you notice, they say every high-powered man usually have a what on his beside him? A good woman. Why? Because as women, going back to the oracles, the prophets, and the priestesses, we are the advisors. They cannot function and move without us advising them. Why? We have the intuition, the psyche, and the wisdom in the direct line to God. The direct line to the dimension of receiving the downloads and the messages, and they know that. The jails wouldn't be this full right now if they would have listened to us before they went out there. And they'll tell you, man, I should have listened to my mama. My mama told me quit fucking with that nigga. Man, I should have listened to my woman. My woman told me don't go out tonight. She felt something. They understand our power. They know our power. It's us who don't understand and know our power. They know who we are. Do you get what I'm saying? Innately, in their being, they know who we are. But what they've done is they flipped it. And what we've done is we've handed them over our power, because see, that's what they wanted. That was what the whole destroying of the matriarch in the mother's spirituality was about. They wanted the power that we possess, because they didn't have it, and they still don't. We give it to them. And when we give them our power, 99.999% of the time, they don't use it to create, to grow, and to multiply. Many times what they do is they misuse and misappropriate the power, to where we are left feeling drained, exhausted, overwhelmed. Come on now. Come on. Okay? Tired, depressed, lack of energy, lack of confidence. Yeah, it really shakes at our confidence. I am still restoring my confidence. Right? So I don't share these things, and the mother does not have me or my sister Eve sharing this information for us to go against our men, our brothers, our husbands, our sons, our lovers. No, it is so that we can stand in our fullness of power and align with our divine calling, our divine mission, our divine power. We must get into alignment with our gifts and our power source, and no longer be afraid to express this power and these gifts that we have, because these gifts are a part of our matrilineal lineage. They are part of what we've come here to do as the prophetess, the oracles, the priestesses, the magic women, the herbal women, the doulas, the midwives. This is what we came here to do. This is part of our genetic coding. This is not something we can just give away. And so when we as women attempt to pass this and hand our power over to men, it doesn't work right. It doesn't come out right. It doesn't play out right. Why? Because you cannot give somebody your ashe.
Period.
You can't have your ashe. This is what we've been attempting to do, entrusting them to what? Lead. No, you can't hand over your ashe, goddess. It's your ashe, and your ashe is your ashe. That is not something you can give away. And this is where the envy comes in. They're envious of our ashe, our connection to the divinity of all that is all. Anybody have anything they want to say to this? Would you like to come in and speak? I'm opening up the temple floor. We're going to get into some of this healing work, some things we can do to heal ourselves from feeling vulnerable and not feeling like we could protect ourselves. That's another thing. Please stop feeling guilty, and please work through the shame. Because what happens is we feel guilty and we feel shameful, because I am still dealing with body image issues. I am still connecting with my body awareness. I am still dealing with body shame due to me feeling like I betrayed myself during a time when I was being violated. Many times we carry weight because it's a form of protection. it keeps people away. It's like we grow all in on ourselves to give people that 6 feet. You got to stay 6 extra feet away from me. Why? I'm a big girl. You can't come as close as you would if I was a smaller girl. So I'm gonna grow a little bit, and I'm gonna put a little bit on this back and these hips and this stomach, because I need you to I need boundaries. That's what this is really about. That's why I've constantly struggled with my weight all my life. It came from that source. And so I'm still working through body shame at 58. This is how deep it runs. I'm still doing my best to connect with my body so I can stay in tune with my many gifts. Because once you are taken up out of your body and you have been violated, it removes you from your body awareness to now you no longer have your body signals are thrown off. Your body signals are thrown off. So things that you would have caught before and got a signal here and a signal there, now they've been scrambled. It's like a frequency being scrambled. You know what I'm saying? You can't pick up on the things you would have picked up with before you was tampered with. I'm still at 58 doing that healing work concerning my body and loving and just really supporting and accepting and loving my body, even where she is now, after the C-sections, after the abuse, you know, after the physical abuse, after the mental, the emotional abuse, after the being in, you know, in relationships with narcissists, a pattern. That matter of fact, that's a pattern. Let's talk a little bit about that, Eve. We said we was gonna bring that up too. We was going to talk about cycles and patterns. Many times what we're going through and why we keep experiencing the same thing is because once you have experienced certain types of abuse, that abuse and that imprint of it is now on you. So now you attract the predator continuously. Let's talk a little bit about that, Eve, and then I'm going to open these floors.
Yes. Is really because of my incomplete work, not diving deeper into it and being honest with myself is why I attracted the predator. But like I said, you know, well, one thing I realized, a trigger, a red flag for me, something that does not honor, goes against my, the divine in me, is alcohol. I found that because alcohol had been a form of self-medication for me as I numb myself to all of these things, so I was not in tune with my body, I can no longer participate with alcohol, especially with men. And when a man says, you know, on a date, oh, you want to drink, like, I take that as a red flag. It's like, run, you know what I'm saying? Because that puts me in a vulnerable state to just allow the predator to have his way. Also, you know, a wise woman once told me, don't put your panties in your medicine bag. And so now I have to be honest with myself that I'm not ready to work with men in that capacity, because I haven't got to the point where I can fully trust myself to not fall victim to the predator and repeat the same cycle. What else? Yeah, it just goes back to just going deeper into the work, trusting myself, fully embracing and embodying who I am, being honest with that, and not allowing myself to just say, okay, I can no longer even be in this environment, you know, or be with these type of people, because I see it, you know, like I see it. And most of the time when I have attracted the predator is because I was in a lower vibrational state of mind, being in an environment that didn't support the new version that I have created for myself, you know. And so I had to ask myself, okay, well, why do you do that? It comes from this space of loneliness or these ideas. Even, another thing I wanted to talk about too was balancing this masculine and feminine energy, being told, oh, you're too masculine, you're too masculine, you're too masculine. So then I'm like trying to fit this description of what femininity looks like, you know, when really all it is you're setting me up to be vulnerable. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it's like, no, that masculinity it's a safety. It's a safety for me, you know, because I have to be stern. Like, I'm not playing with you. You know, you can't come for me, you know? So, yeah, so those cycles, I'm still unpacking that. I'm still, like you said, I'm dealing with some body shame, some confidence issues and things like that. And it's been beautiful, you know, it's been difficult, but it's been beautiful at the same time. But as of right now, I had to be honest with myself and tell myself, you're not ready. You're not ready yet. You're not ready
Yes.
not ready to work with men in the healing space,
Yes.
you know. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yes.
And then
And, you know, go ahead.
another thing that came to me, sorry, my grandma, my maternal grandma, she used to say, Eve, take care of them boys, like take care of them boys. So that was something that was like playing in my psyche. And I really didn't break it down, or it didn't surface in this capacity until the other night. And it was like I was in the medicine, and I'm working with the women in my family. I'm loving them, honoring them, asking for forgiveness and all these things. And then my grandma came through and she said, take care of them boys. So it was like, huh? You know, and so when I went deeper into that, it was like these shackles that I had on my feet and this pain that had just surfaced on both my left and my right side of this false idea of what taking care of them boys is, you know. So I'm still unpacking that. But I see where that was like deeply rooted, and it's had me bound in such a way that I think taking care of them boys looks like, you know. So yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's deep, sis. Because, you
Yeah.
know, I got boys too. In my youngest son, all of the sexual trauma, my piece with sexual trauma, the way I felt about men, the fear, all of that imprint came on my youngest son.
Mm-hmm.
And I could tell in his behavior. Like
Mm-hmm.
now, as they're older, they're, you know, one's 38, the other one's 42. They getting it together. Now we're discussing things. Now, you know, I'm sitting in a space of quietness where I'm allowing them to share with me how my trauma has affected me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big part of it too. Just shutting up and they just need to know they heard. You ain't got to acknowledge nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I don't say nothing. I just allow them to feel heard and be heard. And I just go in. I don't give an excuse to why this happened. I don't say what this came from. I say, I want to apologize to you right now for hurting you.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't a psychologically intentional behavior. That was something that came from my own shadow. You see, my own shadow. Like, I don't give no excuse or just put it like this. I don't put a justification on.
Mm-hmm.
I just tell them, hey, I apologize. Your mom, I'm sorry. I love you. And I hate that I did that. Like,
Yeah.
I hate that I did that.
Mm-hmm.
I was hurting. And if I would have known better, I would have definitely did better. And thank you for sharing your pain with me.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And I'm telling y'all, it hurts. It hurts to hear the shit you did. It hurts to have to identify with, oh, yeah, I did that. Oh, yeah, I was fucked up. Oh my God, that shit. Oh my God. Oh God, he remembers that. Oh my, like it hurts to have to sit and listen to that. But we have to in order for them to heal, because remember, men aren't given a space to express. They've never been given a place in a space to express. So now when my sons come to me, I allow them to express, because whatever the woman they get with, I want them to be good to her. I need them to be good to her.
Yes.
Right? I do. I don't want her to have to experience the woman they're with to experience. And, you know, she's a woman like me. I don't want to have to experience verbal, physical, mental, emotional abuse due to the things that I've inflicted on my children. I don't want to hold that part. You know what I'm saying? So whenever they need to come to me and share my disruption in their lives, I allow it. And I'm happy to be at that, but it took some healing to get here. Because before, you know, it was a time I ain't want none of that shit, boy. You ate, you fed, you had water, you had everything you need. All of that shit. You went to, you had this, you had that. It's always about what we can do for them. It was always about how we had the house and the car. They got here, they had their clothes. But what about their emotional state? We have to take time for how do we feed them emotionally? Okay, they was fed. They was housed, they was sheltered, they was cold, okay, but how do we feed them emotionally? And that's what I mean by, because we are the mothers and we are the first teachers, we have a lot to do with who they are, but at the same time, it comes to a level where they are at the age of accountability and they have to start making their own choices. And based on where we are in this patriarch, they go for examples that of what society says, this is men. This is men. That's the examples they go for. Right?
Yeah. My Zion, he told me, who that Zion, he told me, you do things to people that you don't like done to you. And I said, what you talking about? He talking about the way you talk to me. And he said, and really, you just only provide me with the bare minimum. Who I could have fell out.
Did you?
I said, break that down. You know, he's like, yeah, you provide us with a house and with food and this, and that it hurt. It hurt, you know, but when I had to be honest with myself. I mean, yes, of course, he don't fully get it. You know what I mean? But yes, I yell, you know, like the anger. I realized I had so much anger, and it was reflecting on my children. One little thing, the kitchen not clean, petty stuff, you know, stuff. And this is like I had to really sit with that. And my oldest son, him and I went on an ayahuasca retreat for his 23rd birthday, and I rebirthed him, you know, because I gave birth to him at 17. I didn't know how to love. I was very abusive, very toxic to him. And it's something that we have been working through over time. But in that ceremony, I thought I struggled a lot, and he was there to console me. And I realized how, you know, we chose each other for him to show me a higher level of love. And after the ceremony, during the integration, he said, Mom, he said, it's okay. It's okay. You can stop beating yourself up. You can stop analyzing all the things you did. You're a beautiful mom, you know. And so he gave me permission, you know, to love myself, to love him, and move forward from the past, you know, not hold on to those things, not allow those things to stand in the way of how I show up for him now. So I always say they're my greatest teachers. My Zion, he's kind of harsh the way he get, and he says it's so calm. So it's like you can't be mad at that. I mean, I can be mad, but it's like it's true. It's really true, and it hurts. It does hurt, you know. But every day, you know, I've implemented having family meetings, telling them, is there anything you would like to say to me? You know, so I'm learning. There's no rule book to this thing. And all I knew was my parenting. All I knew was my hurt. All I knew was my pain. And so we're here now. And yeah, that youngest one, he's a challenge. He is a challenge. That's my Zion, my granddaddy. I call him Big Granddaddy energy.
You know, you say the youngest boy, because I was saying about my youngest boy was the one who caught, you know, who had the imprint of the sexual abuse and all of that. And the reason that I say that is because he was the one that used to trigger my anger with men all the time. So that man, he caught a lot of the anger from me. Right. And you know, he was about 19, and he told me one day, I came out the room like I usually do, and I hadn't recognized it. And I got up and I just started hollering and talking and cussing. And he came out of his room and he just hugged me. He said, Mama, why do you wake up so angry all the time? Just Mama, do you hear yourself? Come here, Mama. You need a come here, Mama. You're just so angry. You just cussing, Mama. What's wrong? You just woke You let your feet hit the floor and you already cussing and angry. And he checked me on that, and I had to stop. I just got silent and thought about it. He said, Mama, you do this every morning. And I had to realize I was mad because I had to wake up. I do this shit another day by myself with 4 kids, with, feeling like I'm struggling. They don't know we struggling, but hell, I knew the struggle. The struggle was fucking real. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, I gotta do this shit again. Daddy, once I broke up with the daddy broke up with the kids. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So here I was making it do what it do. And when I say making it do what it do, literally, my foot was in the underground world and in the upper ground world at the same damn time, making it do what it do. I ain't got no shame. Okay. But yes, so he had to, put that on my mind for a minute because I was extremely angry. So, in going back talking about these patterns, Eve, how do you think that we continue in this loop on this hamster wheel with this pattern of attracting the predator?
Well, number one is being honest. I mean, like being honest with yourself, trusting yourself. You said, okay, sorry. Say the question again. I'm sorry.
How do you think we continue ourselves on this hamster wheel of continuously attracting the pattern, keeping the pattern of attracting the predator? What is that energy? What is that? Would you say that's the residue of
the? It's the residue of not doing the work. Not doing the work, not going deep into I said the nicks and crannies, not taking the time to say, okay, I got to go in here because I want to make a change. I want to be different. I don't want this anymore. And I don't want to carry this. I don't want to carry this. I don't want to transfer it, any of that, So I think it's just being honest. Where am I at? Am I ready to do this? Do I have the support to do this? Do I have the tools? What does that look like? So yeah, in my opinion and in my experiences, it's like, okay, I'm ready. Because I can honestly say with the healing work that I need to do with my father, I didn't want to do it. I was like, because I was just holding on to, I love him so much. I don't want to expose, I don't want to, all these things, like started letting all this chatter come in my mind instead of just honoring myself. Just honoring myself, like, you have to do this, Eve. This is showing up in all of your relations. This is affecting you in such a major way, So I had to be really honest about that and trust that because I'm doing this from love, I know that I will be supported and it's all gonna work out for my highest self at the end of
that part.
Yeah.
That part. Doing this in love. It's all gonna work out to its highest good. Ooh, just sit in there for a minute, guys. Not doing it out of hate, but in love. Because genuinely, we love our fathers, we love our sons, we love our brothers, we love our uncles, we love our men. But we can no longer make ourselves available to this abuse. Meaning we got to go in and do our work. We're going to have to separate for a moment. We're going to have to sit. We're going to have to give ourselves some time. That's where I'm at with it. I'm Eve, I agree with you. I am not ready to deal with them outside of my community of men. I am not ready to share anything with them. And right now, I am learning how to love myself so deeply, so completely within this solitude and dealing with connecting with my body and who I am and my ashe and my power and listening to the mothers that I cannot be deviated nor distracted right now in giving and in sharing with them. This is just where I'm at. And I have to be very honest about this. And the mothers want me to say this because I need to say this for me. And if it connects with you sisters, that's great too. Really and truly, I do not trust. And I do not trust myself with them because I know how much I love them, and I know how much I love, and I know how much I give, how much I share. I know this about me. So with that, I do not trust that involvement because I have to be what? Protected. I have to protect my body, my emotional state, my mental state, my physical state, and my resources. That's the big one. I am the resource and supply. So I have to protect everything. Everything I am and everything that is connected to me for my eternal and external survival. Because what I've learned is that a man that truly loves you and is really connected to himself and his healing, he's going to bring you value. A man could say they love you, but if they don't know how to love themselves and they're not connected to their healing, they don't know how to love you. I don't care how much they say they love you. They don't know how. And we have to be able to recognize that and honor it for what it is. We can't keep denying it and saying, well, I'm going to show him, I'm going to prove, I'm going to show him his worth. You can't show nobody else their worth, honey.
Is that the toxic ego showing up that tells us that?
Yes. And then we've been put in position as so-called strong Black women that the more we serve is connected to our worth. And we have to earn a level of love and respect and honor in our community based on how much we serve. It's time out for that. They can kiss my big black yellow ass.
Yes.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I'm not overextending myself to feel worthy among you. I am worthy whether I give anything, if I share anything at all, or if I don't. I am still worthy. Why? Because I understand my ashe and my purpose. And if you do not see my purpose and you do not understand my purpose, that is not my problem. But I will protect myself from you and extend boundaries.
Excuse me.
So I'm going to open up the floor right now. Anybody have anything they want to say concerning our safety is our divine birthright part 2? I came here with my sister Eve. Like I said, we had a conversation that didn't come back into formation till 2 months later. And so by divine right, we have the opportunity to rescue ourselves. And definitely rescue our daughters from predatory energies. We need to heal our soul blueprint. And that's why we're having these conversations, because this goes back to patriarchal design. This goes way back to when they, overthrew the mother temples. This goes way, way back. So that's why I came with the history, her story first, before I could even center in on safety and divine birthright. So we're having these conversations because as mothers, we have a responsibility and an opportunity, as well as being accountable, to share this information with our younger sisters and our daughters, because they are going to be the heads of the matriarch. It's opening up with us, but our granddaughters, right, are going to be leading the matriarch. So we have to share this information with them now. We have to show up and begin showing them how to protect themselves now. We have to Share with them the wisdom of the mothers and the wisdom of their wombs and the wisdom of their honor and the wisdom of their gifts. And we have to allow them to speak and open their throat chakra. We have to allow them to understand their power and stand in it, because they are going to be leading the matriarch. Mm-hmm. We are responsible for this. I'm opening the floor. I'm opening the floor.
There was a sister in the chat. She says she's in the shower, but she will be on shortly.
Probably Antoinette. She said she in the shower.
I wanted to bring something up. There's a lot of our elders who are held in high regards, men that are pushing this message of women need to be married by a certain age, and they're no good once they get to a certain age, and really talking bad on us. What is that?
Yeah. It's like once we hit 35, we're thrown out with the dishwater.
Mm-hmm.
So you have older men now searching for women that are under 30. Right. And the only reason the women that's under 30 even gonna fuck with them is because they got some resources. They gotta have some resources, because there's no reason a 25-year-old gonna fuck with a man over 45 and 50, right? Because he could come to geriatric. His health declining anyway, because most men don't go to no doctors and shit. So by the time they hit 50, they testosterone levels is low. They T count low, right? So they got to get something a little younger, because they're trying to keep that thing up. They're trying to stay stimulated, because the T count low, baby. The balls are saggy. They saggy as hell. The balls ain't tight no more. They got the nerve to be talking about our titties. Nigga, your balls is dangling. Shit, you talking about my titties sagging. Nigga, your balls is a plant hunger. Right? Not to say, girl, the mothers gave me a download the other day. I did a video, I just ain't shared it. But the mother said, you need to go tell, and this is just how they told me. I'm gotta keep it 100. They said, tell them bitch ass niggas, they gonna be mad at you for saying this. However, mama said a lot of y'all niggas talking about women's bodies after we done gave you children and shared our birthright with you for your legacy. Then you want to talk about our bodies and how we're not maintaining them like they used to be. Well, for one, they're going to change due to the birthright, due to the birthing process. But really and truly, you bitch ass niggas have subpar dick. Y'all not showing up because a lot of y'all are limp due to how you have taken care of yourself. So then you want to try to talk us crazy and make us feel bad when we are the center of your existence, and y'all not even serving us right in the bedroom. And then they said, y'all egos is so fragile that most of the time, 90% of us, we don't share the fact that it is subpar dick. We don't share the fact that we are not fully and totally satisfied, because we know if we share it with you, y'all gonna act like some bitches. Y'all call us bitches, but y'all really is some bitches with that shit. Your egos is too fragile, but your dick ain't shit. This is just how they told me. This is how they told it to me. Because they know how they could come talk to their daughter. This is how they talk to their daughter. Some days they all divine with the word, and some days they just get real ratchet with it. Yeah. And hey, it is what it is. They talking about our bodies and how it's developing, but they not able to hold or they not able to satisfy us more than 5 minutes. Especially if they get good, wet, tight. You can forget it. You can forget it. No control. Right? But yet, all that falls back on us. All that falls back on us too. When a man leaves home, it's usually the people come to you and say, well, girl, what happened? What you do? It automatically always goes to the woman. When a woman and a man can't have children, what do they say? Oh, she's infertile. It might be this damn man, his damn ship ain't sailing right. But they automatically say what? Oh, she got fertility issues. Come to find out, when both of them go to the doctor, it be his fertility issues. His sperm count ain't up. But they quick to blame the woman. Everything has been put in a bad light on the woman. Going back to even the serpent. The serpent is directly connected to the wisdom of the mother temples. And even in the beginning of the Bible, they said what? The serpent came and what? Tricked Eve, and she ate the fruit, and then she convinced Adam. And he gonna tell God, it's this faulty wife you gave me, God. So right then they started the process of dismantling the honoring and the value of who we are, even in the Genesis. Even in the Genesis, we started off with a bad rap. And they got the whole world believing. But yet they take all of our symbols, such as the serpent, they take all of our symbols and use it for their magic. Think about it. Everything that we use, they have made it hit us like it is evil and like it's wrong and it's witchcraft, but they turn around and use our same symbols for their devices, for their magic, for their power. And we as Black women have settled for it. But the thing is, we're not settling for it no more. Because if you see, the Black women is waking up to her magic, baby. That Black girl magic, honey, these Black witches, these prophets, these priestesses, these oracles, these herbers, baby, if they ain't tapping in with their crystals and their prayers and their mantras and their meditations, honey, they coming in, they Reiki, they energy healing and stuff, baby, they coming in strong. Black women tapping in. They standing in their power, baby. They getting it together. And now we being called more witches than ever. And witch actually is synonymous with wise woman. That's what witch actually means. Wise woman. So I say stand in your power and use everything that you have in your arsenal to heal yourself from this patriarchal belief that you are the weaker vessel, that you are the lesser gender, that you came from his rib. That don't even make good sense. Everybody came from a vagina, even Jesus. Even Jesus pushed out. The Christ pushed out a Mary womb. If she didn't have sex, if there was a parthenogenesis thing going on, okay, because that could very well have been what it was, since they said the Spirit of God entered her. Remember, there was a such thing as parthenogenesis, right? If that was to happen, he still came from a womb. So God still used a woman to have a Christ. Why he just didn't miraculously appear to you? If he was this pristine and divine and immaculate conception, even God used the woman to bring the Christ. That tells you who we are. Even God knew he couldn't bring a being that powerful into existence without the who. Please know who you are, divine. Please understand who you are, divine. Opening the floor, opening the floor, opening the floor. Come on in here, y'all. Come on, who got some? I know somebody got worked up. Somebody got inspired. Somebody got inspired. Do you have a question, a comment, or a concern?
I have a comment or sorts.
Yes.
It's something I noticed. I love history.
Can you open your camera?
I'm looking a mess. Y'all don't judge me with my bonnet on. It's fine.
Hold
on.
Baby, come through, honey. Just come through. We got a power circle of sisters in here. Come on through with that. Come on through so I can put you over here in the spotlight with me and E.
All right. Am I on now?
No.
Oh, I see me. Hold on.
Not on. I'm gonna ask this for you to start your video. Okay, please.
Okay. All right. I think that got me.
There you go. Hey, sugar.
Hello, one and all. Good morning to you all. Good morning. Be blessed.
Yes.
I am so blessed by being here. Thank you, E, for inviting me. I appreciate it. One of the things you were talking about them going after younger girls, and I had noted something because I watch a lot of documentaries. I love history. I watch stuff all the time, and a lot of things you're saying resonate so much from my historical mind. And I link up things as I'm watching them. And one of the things I was watching was Brooke Shields, and they were talking about her history as a child star. And one of the things that the lady had noted, she's like, Brooke Shields came along right after the women's movement had really gotten, women were getting, checking accounts, all this thing. And she was a 10-year-old girl. And you watch this girl in these interviews, and these men are literally going, "You're a beautiful woman. You're such a beautiful woman." And each time I heard it in every interview, I was just creeped out because I'm like, they literally are adultifying this small girl, and they had her in these. She had done this spread of that was eventually bought by Hustler when she was 10, where she had taken some inappropriate photos for a 10-year-old, and I was, and it also put me in mindset like her mother was so conditioned. Everybody was so conditioned to normalize this behavior. And so many times with women don't understand that other women participate in our downfall because they don't understand who they are as power. And they use this child to create an image of beauty that was once again used against Black women and all other women as standard. But then she was a child that men could adultify and look to as this is the goal of what you want. And then think about, they outlawed women marrying at 10-year-olds and 12-year-olds and what that impact, because men can't handle real women. They want to groom you up from the time you were small so you can fit into their box. And so many women have been groomed in this way in our society that now we have women who actually work against other women, who don't feed into your womanhood, who stop you. And I grew up in the real South where you were taught, the goal was to get a man, how to be pleasing. Men could do no wrong, even though you saw them wrong and you saw them dragging women across hot coals, basically to be with them. And women who stood up to that were considered basically outlaws. There was something wrong with you. You was too much. Or your husband cheats on you because you act too much, because you dare say something about it. And there's this sense throughout culture that we should be small so they could be big. And it's like I've even seen it in my own relationship. And there's so many narcissistic things. And you were talking about people who link with people. Narcissists attract other narcissists, and when you have them in your life, and when you grow up around them in a culture of them, it's almost like you're trying to break a pattern because they know who they can come to victimize. You've been groomed, and a lot of us has been groomed up in a narcissistic environment along women who have been damaged, who have been groomed us up since we were children to this goal of fitting into a society that really is toxic to our souls. There's so many directions to go in it, and there's so many in our culture just from the inception of getting off the boat and being here for some, and for some who were already here because we were here before they came. There's such a history of Black women, even our very DNA is used in medicines to this day. The vaccine. I mean, there's so much to unpack. Yeah. There's so much to unpack as a woman, and then there's a double edge unpacking as a Black woman. And I think now is the time that our energy is I'm pulling back my energy. And like I tell people, I'm cool being alone for however long I need to be alone and recoup my energy source and recoup who I am and understand who I am, and also understand that you are not meant for everybody. Some of us we're not going to be groomed. We're not going to groom the next generation. And some of that grooming generation of women, they got to go too. The unwomen, they got to become a reckoning too. They have stood in the path of women growing because they have been jealous throughout history of other women who weren't afraid to say, I'm not going today. They're the first one to call a woman a witch and villainize her on behalf of a man so that woman cannot jeopardize what little bit of security they think they have. They're okay giving their 10-year-old daughters over to men because it's out of her hair. And she can be secure in the fact that her daughter's secure. Things like that, I think, are going to be our next way to evolve. And, it's going to hurt to leave some women behind. But I'm seeing it like some of us, we are not going to come on, because I have felt that other women have actually hurt me more in some cases. And I'm learning to work through the pain of other women. Like, I understand that men will hurt, but it's
Mhm.
when you see other women who are so male identified and how that fits in the culture. And the more I understand, it's like, I don't hate y'all for that, but I also cannot live in that energy with you anymore. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't hope I'm not rambling to anyone.
No, honey, you making a whole lot of sense because we have a lot of women that uphold the patriarchy. We have a lot of women who uphold the patriarchy, and somewhere in that they feel rewarded. You see what I'm saying? So that means they'll quickly go against their daughters and go against other women and go against every sister ain't sister, just like every Black person ain't for the culture. Let's keep it real.
True.
Okay, so yeah, we're definitely going to get in the Coochie church. We're going to get into every sister ain't sister. And just like you said, it's going to hurt because we got to let some women go. And then some women aren't coming. But you know what? It's going to also hurt that some men not coming either. Some daddies not coming. Some uncles not coming. Because see, what's going to happen is as you can see, more and more things are being exposed. Men, women, people are being exposed, especially for their inappropriate behavior. You got all this sex trafficking stuff going on, all kind of stuff. You know, people upholding this patriarchy and this sexual inappropriateness, disease, violations that goes on with the entitlement of women's bodies in this patriarchy. You have a lot of women upholding it. A lot of very wealthy, prominent women uphold that culture.
True. I think a lot of women fear a goddess energy and a power that they see in other women that they felt has been so beat down and suppressed in themselves. They can't imagine it or conceive it with you. And when they see it, they're like, you're not pretty enough to deserve this kind of attention. You're not smart enough. You didn't play by all the rules. You're supposed to be sexy. You're supposed to be the standard. You're supposed to play within the rules. I dare you come up here with no makeup on and you are round and overweight and you look gorgeous and these men are talking to you and people are paying attention to what you have to say. I dare you. And that other woman who's like, she is looking at you, you are thinking, man, we're cool. Or she might unite with you because she likes your energy, but she's there to siphon it off. And she's literally judging you because then they'll come in and say stuff like, well, you should really do your hair. You should really do this. You should. And then they use those stereotypes to put you in the box. And all of a sudden you feel like you're not good enough because you're in the box. Yeah. Okay,
or
maybe
they'll say, "Oh, you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl."
Oh yeah, the classic.
Classic. You're pretty for a big girl.
Oh yes, that's the classic.
You see what I'm saying? It's always, there's always a little shade up under there. You just, you're either pretty or you're not. Come on now. It's not for a dark girl. It's not for a big girl. It's not for a yellow girl. It's not for, oh, you got pretty hair. You got good hair. When people tell me that, oh, you got good hair. And I'm like, well, what is good hair? It's just hair. This is just the texture I was born with. Don't see when you hear that, it actually, for me, when I hear those underlying tones of, you're pretty for this, or you're nice for this and that, what it gives me, it lets me give me a insight into their mind and into their thinking. So I usually take that information and I store it because it helps me to understand who I'm dealing with. Because see, remember, I'm not here to try to change nobody. I'm really not. I'm not here. That's too much work. The programming runs too deep. I am one person. And the program is so entrenched in you through generations and generations and generations. My word, or what you hear right now, all it may do is awaken something for the moment. But when you get back to your life and habitually speaking, that culture, that pattern, that immersed program is going to be the one that wins. That's going to be the one prevail.
Yeah, I'm learning to be careful about what my ear protects my ear. I feel like that's where my spirit has been leading me here lately. It's been on my mind. Protect your ear. Okay. Protect what's going into your brain and your mind, because and that's where the letting yourself be isolated for a minute comes into play. Because once you can hear your own voice and you're not afraid to be quiet, you can protect your ear. And then it's like, well, I hear my voice again. I hear it. I may not always like what my voice is saying. I may not like, okay, I'm speaking this way to myself. Why am I thinking this? Are these my thoughts? Are these the thoughts of somebody who spends hours with me on the phone. Like, I can't spend hours on the phone with people no more. Like, I had a long conversation with Eve the other day. It was great, but we don't talk like that every day. But I had a friend who I was talking to every day with these long conversations. I began to think my thoughts are not my thoughts. But now I can
Ooh,
have long conversations with people, and I know that these are my thoughts. We are sharing my thoughts. I'm not pulling your energy. And it's something that I'm going to have to keep practicing. It's a lifelong practicing thing, but I'm protecting my ear so I can understand what are my thoughts. That when somebody comes to me and they say, you said this, or you did, I'm like, no, you took it that way, but I know clearly who I am. And I
come
know
on.
that I said XYZ. I know who I talk to. I know how I talk to them. And I know when I said it. You can no longer tell me who I am and what my thoughts are. And you don't get to put them in there and then crucify me for having those thoughts because they
That's
weren't
powerful.
mine. And I'm no longer taking responsibility for how your mindset wants me to be, what you were trying to feed into me. And it's hard to get to that point, and I still say it's going to need work. I'm going to need to constantly recharge, constantly come in contact with myself, my ear. But the more I understand it, the more I'm not afraid of it, and the more I'm saying, okay, this is who I am. Sorry you don't like it. That's your problem. Move on, find your own tribe. I'm not for you. It's okay. We not hurt. So
Come on. I
yeah.
love it. I love
I
that
don't want to
recovery
take all the
piece.
time because I know other people
No,
need
I
to
love
talk.
that recovery piece you put on there too. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing, sis. We appreciate you.
Yeah. I say.
You're welcome anytime. It's my pleasure to share. My
Yes,
pleasure.
I say, and thank you for coming into the temple today.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else like to come on in here and they have some downloads, something they need to say? I think was it Antoinette? You wanted to come say something?
Hi, goddess.
Hey, goddess, how are you? How have you been?
Ooh, Miss Trace. There's been a lot of stuff going on, I recognize a lot. I just don't say anything anymore. I'm very silent because I have to receive what's going on and interpret everything that my ancestors and angels and goddess mother is telling me. So let's go back to the first thing. This family damn dynamic and them not wanting to protect the children, such as myself. They feel the need to want to lie and hide a lot. And it's so funny because you can't hide anything. I see everything. I just don't say nothing because I'm like, well, if I tell you, what the hell are you going to do? You're not going to do shit. You're just going to continue going about your day like nothing happened. So my uncle apparently is my father, which I've been knowing that. I pay attention to myself. I know who I look like. He raped my mom when I was younger. Well, before I was born. And all this shit is basically swept under a rug. Nobody is saying anything. Why is this motherfucker still around? I don't know. Why is he walking around? I don't know. But hey, that's y'all business. But for me, I'm gonna protect myself. I can only tell other family members that have daughters, hey, you need to make sure that your child or your kids isn't around him. That's all I can give to you. Because if I tell you something, you're gonna look at me like I'm the crazy one. I'm already labeled the black sheep, and I own that proudly. Thank you. I appreciate it. We had a family reunion last year. I remember taking my cousin to the family reunion, and I kept saying I cannot stay. And my anxiety was slowly building up. I said, I can't stay. She was like, why you can't stay? I said, because if he is here, my anxiety is going to go through the roof. I just remember him walking in and my anxiety just went uncontrolled. Like I said, okay, well, I gotta go. They kept asking me what's wrong, and I'm like, y'all already know what's wrong. Y'all know all this stuff more than I should know. But y'all still want to make it seem like ain't nothing going on. He has raped my mother. He's tried to touch on me. He has tried to touch on other girls inside this family. And this man walking around with his damn dick out, and y'all don't find that weird? And he be coming over to the house, and I'm just like, I gotta go. So what I'm saying is nobody likes to say anything, and it's frustrating and it's sad because then when it happens to the next person, all of a sudden now it's not okay. it's been not okay. Why aren't y'all saying anything or doing anything? Brother or no brother, I don't give a damn. I'm here to protect myself. So that's the first thing. The other thing was this. These men are predators, like you said. They prey after women. They watch from afar and wait until the right time to strike. I've noticed that. Um, it's happened to me plenty of times, and I'm just like, okay, why the fuck are you here? Like, what you want? So I read their energy. They don't know it. I'm sitting like I'm literally paying attention to them. Why are you here? And it's to take. They want to take a lot from you. It could be your energy. They want the vagina. Like, come on, y'all. So with that being said, I really just have been staying to myself. I really have been silent. I've been reading my books. I've been yoni steaming. I've been steaming. I've been doing a lot to keep myself in tune with myself. And like I said, those downloads are telling me to be quiet right now. Silence yourself and just listen. Listen to what I'm telling you. Follow my directions.
That's it.
These are essential things that we need as women to protect ourselves and to also protect our children and our husbands and certain family members or boys and certain females inside our family. I've gotten rid of friends that weren't really my friends. They were just here to take energy. Y'all are here to take and steal. I don't need y'all around me. Stay away from me. And I block those people. So everything you saying, I really have been taking heed to. And I want to thank you for that.
Yes, thank you. I have a question. When did you find out that your uncle was your father? When did this come about and how did it come about, if you don't mind if sharing that with
So
us,
the
please?
thing with this, okay, so as a little girl, everybody used to, of course, I'm the itty bitty one, like I'm small. So they used to tease me a lot growing up. They used to poke at me, used to call me names. And it was out of jealousy because the actual father figure that I do have and had that is no longer here, he is descended. Um, he took care of me, like he made sure that I was okay. So they used to say, that's why your uncle, your daddy. And I'm like, why are you saying that to me? I used to think it was weird. I just was like, okay, why are you saying this? So I started paying attention more. And other people used to ask how my mom is doing. Like when I say she don't mess with nobody, she don't mess with anybody. She don't go around anybody, none of that. And I'm like, why are you asking so much about her? Like, she okay? Like if you want to check on her, hey, make a call or something. But why you why are you asking? And he said it. I'm like, okay. So he called the house one day, and I remember my mom saying, "What's his number?" So she haven't told me anything. So I'm like, okay. I started paying attention even more. So then I started paying attention to myself. You know, I observed myself in the mirror, all of that. So I'm like, this is my father, but y'all not saying nothing. I know they said, I'm not going to tell y'all, but I know. So I'm like, okay, y'all think it's okay to tease people like that, but are y'all aware of what actually happened? They
Mm.
said, you know, my mom, like, she willingly gave herself to him. And I'm like, I know that's a damn lie. So, with that being said, again, I found out that way.
Okay.
So it don't hurt me. I'm like, I'm glad I know, but I don't fuck with y'all. I'm gonna leave y'all where y'all at because if y'all feel like this is okay to tease a person about it, if y'all feel like it's okay for this man to still show his damn face and ain't nobody kicked his ass or hey, if he ain't living like I can't mess with y'all on no type of level, I'm gonna leave y'all where y'all at, but baby, I'm okay. So I
Mm.
found out that way.
Okay.
It hurt for a second, but I received what was going on because by me receiving all these things, it actually heightened my powers as
Mm.
me as a goddess. I'm like, there is nothing that you can say or try to do to destroy me if I know exactly who I am and everything that it protects me. I'm protected more
Mm.
so than y'all could ever know. I've tried to help people. I've tried to be there for people. It's just I gotta protect me and put me first. And that's just how I feel now.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, sis, and being vulnerable, and we appreciate that. Anything that comes here with to the Coochie Church and we discuss it, especially on this open platform, I want to say whenever you share some very private experiences that have taken place in your life on this forum, what you are doing is you are impressing more healing within your personal development as well as your future generations. I mean, it was real big of you to come here and even say that out loud to all of us. That's something what a lot of people would have just continued to what? Keep that hidden, right? Keep that toxic and that poison running through by keeping it hidden. But that's what we need to do more of. We need to open our throat chakra and we need to start speaking this. And so now I'm going to give some thank you, Antoinette. I love you and peace to you, sis. Peace
Thank
to you.
you.
I appreciate you. So now I want to share with you some ways that we can actually heal from some of the violations, manipulations, coercions that have been done to us, done to us through this predatory patriarchal behavior, right? So let's get into it. First off, you have to identify. You have to identify with what happened. And unfortunately, but unfortunately, we have to feel it to heal it. And that's usually where we run. We don't want to feel because the memory is so painful. Why? The memory, because we have encoded trauma within ourselves. And when we think about the memory, those encodes open up and shoot off neurons that put us back in that feeling of that situation. We don't want to feel that. I get it. I get it. So therapy can be a safe space for you, finding someone that has no connection to the family, no connection to your history, your culture, none of that. And therapy is a big proponent. I personally am in therapy. I've been in and out of therapy for the last 25 years, constantly working on my trauma. Because there's layers to it. Because once you open one layer and heal from one layer, guess what? There's another layer there that's connected to that layer. So this is a journey. This is a journey. This is not a destination. Please understand that. And the level of work that you do in this lifetime is going to help the next chosen one in the next generation, where y'all gonna be a level up on the generational gravitation of the healing work. Y'all gonna be a level up based on the work that you do, right? So that one that's gonna carry the torch, the next generation, she gonna have all the work that you did already, and she gonna come and be able to up level in the healing for the generations to come. So that's why it's so important that we get this now, because we are coming into the matriarch. So first off, I want to say identifying with the trauma. Okay. If you need help and you need therapy, please. I am big on mental health and therapy, right? That is, if you need it, go get it. It's not about you being crazy. Really, to tell you the truth, all of us are a little crazy around here. If you were raised up here in these Americas, okay, especially if you person melanated, you crazy. We all got it. We all a little touched. Let's be clear. And we all different with dealing with it on different levels. So don't be ashamed about the help that you need. All right. So in identifying it, you need to also identify the predators. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to them. You might not be ready to go to them. I wish one of our sisters who had went to her predators and she acknowledged them in front of the family. After the family, honey, the family meeting. Baby, it was a barbecue or something, baby. She said, yeah, Uncle so-and-so, you touched me. You know what you did? She did it all, exposed him all at the family, baby. And she felt real good, even though they was, but she said they all knew, but everybody was keeping it hidden and being secretive. She exposed it. She said that a lot of her family members turned on her. She said she don't give a damn. She said, fuck them too. She fuck him and fuck them. Right? So, but if you may not be on that level. You might not be ready to do all that. And that's okay. Because you're dealing with it your way. Remember, your way of handling your personal healing, that's your way of handling your personal healing. There is no right or wrong way other than do the shit. Right? Okay, so you want to write down. This is what helped me. Writing letters to the predators. Writing letters and being very explicit, meaning it may take days. You might not be able to write that letter in an hour, honey. It took me 7 days to write one, 3 days to write one, and 30 days to write another. Baby, just write. I'm cussing, please. Cussing is therapy, please. Open your throat chakra. And if you need to say you bitch ass motherfucking nigga, you don't understand how you affected my whole life and why I can't have a healthy relationship right now is because of your bitch ass didn't know where to keep your dick. If you need to say it like that, or even it could have been a female, because we got females that's taking on this behavior too, being pregnant, right? Express it the way you need to express it. And you write that letter and you take that time and you write that letter and you feel it and you had your box of Kleenex, you had your wine, you had your weed if you need it. You know, have whatever you need to help you at that moment. To take a nap, go to sleep. Make sure you get your spiritual baths in. Make sure you deal with water and cleanse. Get your 2 cups of Epsom salt or pink Himalayan salt. Get your cup of baking soda. Put your essential oils in there. Light your white candle. Get in that water and breathe deep and release. Get that stuff off you. So as you write these letters to these different perpetrators and you honest about it and you reread it, and you feel it, and you bring that stuff up, I need you to go ahead and burn the letters. And then you want to take them ashes and you want to either put them in some water or you're going to go ahead and bury the ashes in a tree, under a tree. Or what I did, I took my ashes to the graveyard. I took my ashes to go honor the dead because I was killing all that shit, right? I took my ashes to the graveyard and buried them there, right? So this is what you want to do. So it's going to take some time. This is not going to be an overnight thing. Then after you have written your letters to your predators, then you need to write a letter to your little girl or to where you were at 13, 6, 14, 15, whenever that incident happened, 22, whenever that incident happened, you need to write her and speak to her about what was going on with you, and you sorry that you couldn't protect her. You didn't have the knowledge of protection. You didn't understand what was happening. You had to give in. You had to show up. You had to lay there. You couldn't fight. Like there's going to be a lot of shame and a lot of guilt there for you because you feel, even as a 6-year-old girl dealing with an adult, that you didn't protect yourself. You didn't have the information or the know-how how to protect yourself. You were in a trusting, vulnerable spot many times. Sometimes we've been brutally, violated. That's a whole nother dynamic. When you've been held down, when you've been given a date rape drug, when you've been, blindfolded, when things have happened to where it's taken your senses away from you. To where that's a whole nother dynamic, which is going to really need some therapy as well. Okay, so then you're going to write that little girl. You're going to write that person before the incident happened, and you're going to share with her your sympathy for her, your empathy for her, your compassion for her. You have to be compassionate for her. You have to tell her, you're sorry that this happened. I'm sorry this happened. You have to actually speak like in a third person. I'm so sorry this happened to you, beloved. I love you so much. I'm sorry I've left you. Because see, remember, at the state and place where that happened, that's where we checked out. That's where we left. We left our bodies. We left then. That day, that time, that age, that's when we left. We got to go back there. We got to get her. We got to get her. We got to create an intimate relationship with her and begin loving her and being compassionate. When I went back to get my little girl, let me tell you where she was at. She was in a laundry room. You know how you have them apartment building laundry rooms? It was one washer, one dryer. There was a pile full of dirty clothes in the corner by the washer. She was sitting on the dirty clothes, scared like this, hovering when I went back to get my little girl. What does all that represent? Filth, shame, dirty, on a pile of dirty clothes with the washer and the dryer in a laundry. That's where she was. That's not where the incident happened. This is where my mind took me when I went back to get the little girl. So that was all showing me, giving me the language of what I had been dealing with mentally, emotionally concerning myself. I was dirty, I was nasty, I was shameful. Right? This is where she was. And I went back and got her. And I'm still dealing with her daily. Right now at 58, I'm still giving her big hugs, telling her I love her, being compassionate. Okay. So once you write that little girl, then you need to take some time. Remember, get your baths in, do your deep breathing, go get your Reiki work, go get your energy, back in alignment. Come on, let's do this work. Get your sound healing. Go in and start doing some real holistic therapeutic things for yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be generous. Be nurturing. That's the time. Don't have people around you that you're discussing your work to, because they're not going to understand your healing process. Don't go discussing what you're doing. Just do it. Get with people and community that support your healing and your happiness. You have to get into those communities. Okay? Then you're going to write your adult self where you are now. You're going to write your adult self a letter. Okay? And you're going to talk about where you've come from that place. You're going to talk about some things that you went through in life where your relationships, you destroyed or disruptive in your relationships because you hadn't healed. You're going to own some things. You're going to own some things. You got to own your process now of coming through and not being able to show up for the children, not being able to show up in the marriage, not being able to show up for yourself, not being able to show up as a daughter. Why? Because you got this trauma and this pain and this hurt that's not allowing you. Okay? We have to be honest. We have to feel it to heal it, and we have to be able to release it. And releasing is an ongoing journey. And then celebrate yourself. Always celebrate your healing. See, that's the part we leave out. We leave out the celebration. Everybody, let me tell you what we do as Black folk. We recycle trauma all day, every day. I'm so tired of recycling the old fucking story and shit. Look, okay, we know Black people, some of them did go through, some slavery or whatever. We're still recycling that shit. We're still talking about that. Why are they still making all these 12 years a slave and mammy movies? They're not watching none of that shit. I'm not going to pay $1 damn or give none of my time to watch some bullshit that's going to keep me in bondage to that fucking story. Why? When I can change my narrative anytime I want, I hold the pen, period. I am the one going to change this generational shit. I'm not listening to all that stuff that happened to you and y'all know, okay, I heard it. Okay, I know what I got to do. I'm not going to stay there. Stop recycling the pain and the trauma. Once you start coming through, celebrate your resilience. So important to celebrate the resilience. Celebrate your opportunity to heal. Celebrate your understanding of getting what you need to get to the next level of your life and enjoy it. Celebrate yourself. Don't stay there. Don't stay. You have anything to add to that, Eve, about healing from this drama and trauma of this predatory, patriarchal behavior that have inflicted us as women, as Black women?
Yes, all of what you said, and even I have found myself having to rewrite those letters even later on, like I may have done it a few years ago, and then in real time having to rewrite the letter from things that are still resurfacing, that I had to go deep down in the nicks and crannies, and it's like, whoa, I forgot about that, because I had suppressed it. Massage, acupuncture. For me, the plant medicines have been a huge part of my quantum leap in my healing process. And I'm not only just talking about, because people think, oh, psychedelics, not just psychedelics, everything from the mints in your garden, talking to those, using the intelligence of these medicines to work with your cells and bring up things, soothe you, whatever it is that you're speaking into that consumption of that plant. Garlic, I work with garlic, just a lot of plant medicines, something else, and the breath and dance, like the breath and dance, and when the water, when I'm in my spiritual cleansing baths, I'm asking my body, show me where that pain is, and then I can go deeper into that and identify what side of the body it's on, whether it's my feminine or my masculine side. And that just leads me on a deeper journey. There was something else. Give it to me, Spirit, please, and thank you. The elements, working with the elements, and Ladihan. So tantric Ladihan dance, that for me, that was the first time in my life where I was in a space with men and women, of course, where I felt safe. I felt safe in my body. I felt safe connecting with other souls, not taking the perversion out of, sexual healing and things like that. So I would say, see if you can find some tantric game nights and things like that within your community. It's a major breakthrough, especially when you have dealt with the sexual trauma. But also, yes, that was just so powerful for me. And just allow, like just telling yourself, I allow myself to feel, hear, and see what it is that I need to be working on in this time. And yes, it is a lifelong journey.
Yes, it is.
The sound of my voice, like even getting comfortable with my tone, because I have had these deep rooted thoughts of, oh, I sound like a man, or my voice isn't feminine, this, that, and the third. So using my voice to sing or just make different tones, healing tones. There's so much. I left my notebook in there because I had to charge my phone.
It's fine. You're doing great. You're doing great. I'm so glad you came here to share this with me. I appreciate you, Goddess. And just to think that this stemmed from that conversation.
Yes. And I mean, and even just what's crazy is even prior to that conversation, I was saying, I have.
I'm gonna let you have the floor for a minute, Eve. Go ahead and speak to the women because I have to use the restroom.
Okay. I have purchased this. It was like a shadow work book that had like went viral on TikTok or whatever. So I was like, oh, I want to see what all the hype is about. I never even opened that book. I asked Spirit to show me what it was that I needed to be working on. And then from that, I received a phone call from one of my younger cousins saying she wanted to set boundaries, and she expressed some things that came up for her. Her father is the one who raped me starting at the age of 6. And so from that, I was just holding space for her during that time because it wasn't appropriate for me to defend myself or react to her wanting to set boundaries. But I didn't know that that was going to take me into some deeper shadow work. And so I always say, like shadow work prompts, that's great. But for me, that's kind of not how the shadow work shows up. So yes, so from that, I had to go back and revisit some things as to why she expressed how I bullied her. And so I had to go revisit why I was so angry, why it came across as bullying. So that sent me down a whole nother level or layer to my healing. And it took me about 7 days to really come back to my reality, so to speak. I was just checked out. I was having a difficult time moving that energy. And so right now, water, the spiritual baths has been just so powerful for me. I just sit in there, and that water, the intelligence of that water really helps me identify on a deeper level what it is that I'm working with, what it is that I'm uprooting, and where it's at. And even when Tracey was speaking to where the little girl was at, even in that moment, she was in a different place from when I first started on my journey to healing from the sexual trauma. Also, not just the sexual trauma, the abuse, the mental abuse and the physical abuse that had made me think I wasn't good enough, silence my voice, shrink myself, just so much, all, like I said, all the layers, even being compared to my younger cousins and things like that. And I'm holding on to that, and, you know, suppressing or damaging my thought process, my throat chakra, blocking my throat chakra for holding on to all those lies. Really, they were just lies. So I feel like I'm kind of going, I'm bouncing all over the place, but yeah, it's been so much meditation, journaling, so powerful. And as Quisha was saying, I had to learn how to put my phone on do not disturb, be okay with not talking to people for long periods of time because their thoughts were clouding and interrupting, disturbing my healing process. And they would even make me, it would re-trigger these ideas of, I'm not good enough, I'm not confident, I'm not well-spoken, I can't articulate my words in such a way, my comprehension, this, that, and because I was called stupid and dumb my whole childhood. And even when friends say, oh, you're stupid, I'd be like, no, I'm not stupid, I'm silly, but I'm not stupid, you know. But when I would share certain things or even say, oh, I'm in ceremony, this, that, and the third, the reaction that I would get would send me back. It would take me back because I'm looking for validation outside of self. Or, you know, their response would make me feel away. Or even if I shared certain gifts that were coming online, you know, it was like, the reaction would make me feel like, oh, I'm crazy or whatever. So I turned back to journaling. And recently I started revisiting some of my journals from 2017 and even before that. And I'm just like, wow, like it's really helped me. It's really, 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 really helped me. So yeah.
Good. Thank you, Eve. I
Music.
appreciate you. Yeah, music. Oh, very important. I like to also include binaural beats, going on YouTube and finding these sound healings and these binaural beats to elevate your frequency within your body. Remember, we have a chakra system that is definitely linked to musical notes, each one. So when we hear certain tones, they actually can heal us. They can definitely heal us. And if we meditate to those, you know, sitting in meditation at least 10 to 20 minutes, you know, a day or every other day, or when you know, honoring that's very, very important, very important. Anybody else have any suggestions on helping us to heal from these past transgressions? No? Okay. I want to
have one. Sorry,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I wanted to say too, even the oracles pulling your own cards instead of, you know, I mean, readings are great, but just pulling your own cards and kind of sitting with that. Also, kind of understanding for me, my connection to the elements. So I was going to go into the Ifa Ishe tradition, but I didn't go through with that. But what helped me is to have kind of a base level of who has my head, so to speak, or whatnot. So that gave me more clarity on like who I am, being able to relate myself to the forces of nature that were kind of present when I came into the portal, so to
soul
speak,
destiny.
you know.
Your soul destiny.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
so
yes,
yeah.
it is. Okay, something that I also want to bring up, and I said I was going to speak a little bit about this, was this eclipse coming up on tomorrow. Okay. It's my understanding that eclipse between the 2:00 hour PM, 2 p.m. All the way to like 3:45, 3:30. It's probably about an hour, 20 minutes, an hour and a half. There is going to be this big solar eclipse that has been a lot of the rhetoric has been that it needs to be something that we need to stay away from and we need to fear. They talked about bringing in Homeland Security. They talked about shutting down schools. They talked about actually sending off a rocket during that time, right? So I want you to just think with me here. If they are sending off a rocket during this time, that means they understand that this is a portal opening. With us being melanated, sun people of the sun, right? We are nine ether beings. Let's be clear. With us having this connection to the elements in the ether, this moment is going to be a powerful moment for us individually as well. I would suggest highly that you get a glass container, put you some distilled water in this glass container, put your herbs, your roses, your orange peels, and your rosemary, all these things you love, and put it out this evening and allow it to be out within the moonlight and the sunlight and the solar eclipse. Put a little salt in there for banishing. You can use that in all of your different rituals, as in washes, in floor washes, and all of these things. Remember to do that, okay? Also, during the time of this eclipse, between the hours of 2 and 3:30, it is a great time to sit out in nature. They're telling you to go inside. You need to sit out in nature. You need to get some of that energy that they're using for their rituals. See, what they got everybody in fear of this solar eclipse, so that fear, what does that do? That generates and gives them the power once again, okay, to incorporate and complete their spells and their magic and their rituals. That's our fear that does that, right? So, but what we're not going to fear this. Do not fear this planetary alignment. We've been in planetary alignments. Our people understand. If we don't know nothing else within our gene code, we know about the planets and planetary alignments. I mean, we all came from the stars. Let's be real. So with that, we have to understand that this is not something we need to fear. We need to put our feet in the soil. We need to sit in that. We need to meditate in that. And most definitely, we need to get quiet, burn your candles, take your baths and things like that. Set your intentions. Set your intentions. You have nothing to fear. If the so-called people that are in power are having all of these different ceremonies and rituals and things, why aren't we? Come on, why aren't we? Right? So please do not believe the hype. This is your time to focus and get some of that power, some of that energy, and use it to propel your life, your family, and your community. Okay, please understand, it is the moon and the sun. The moon is feminine, the sun is masculine. They are coming together in alignment as one. That is a divinity. That's a divine planetary alignment happening. Don't miss that. You better get you some of that good juju, that planetary juju that they try to give us. Yes, it's the rebirth. Come on through, Sadia. Right? Get you some of that good juju. Don't be scared of what we know, because this is really what we know. We've just forgotten and been under a spell, like I said, but let's get some of this good portal energy. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and allow our sister, Mama Eva. Come on through here, Mama Eva. Come on through here. I told you I was going to call you through here. Turn that. Go ahead and let people know who you are.
I'm here. Can you
Yes,
hear me?
yes, we can hear you, Mama Eva. This is one of our elders of our church, Coochie church community. This is Mama Eva. Mama Eva, tell everybody who you are and what you do. And you have a message for us today. Come on through for the next 5 minutes before we leave up out of here this Sunday.
Today the
Okay,
6th.
okay. Greetings, everyone, all the goddesses. Greetings, and I want to thank you, Shaman Priestess Tracey, for allowing me to speak. And, I'm grateful to be called an elder. I'm grateful because I've grown up in a Pentecostal church. I saw a lot of the church mothers. They used to dress in white, and they didn't play. And I find out that myself, even my mother, who is 90, a lot of her rituals, a lot of her things that she told to me is activating me now. And I'm almost 90. I'm 59, and I'll be almost 90, almost 60 on the 4th of July.
You rushing today.
And I'm telling you, I tell people 60 is the new 40. And once somebody corrected me and said, no, Mama Eva, I see you. 60 is the new 30 for you. But what I want to say, first, I want to give a shout out to my ancestor, my father, who transitioned in December of last year. I want to say a big shout out to my father, because my father's father left the family when my daddy was 2 years old. My daddy was a wonderful husband. My daddy was a wonderful father. My daddy never touched me in a nasty way. My father cooked food. He cleaned the home. He washed dishes. He washed clothes. There was nothing negative about my father. So I want to tell you, as an elder, as a shaman priestess, Mama Eva, there are some good men in this universe. And I remember when my mother would tell me all men are dogs. And I said, well, Daddy's not a dog. My brother's not a dog. Your brothers are not a dog. I don't know where my mama got that from, but I had to break that curse over myself and my 2 daughters and my son. Okay? Something happened to my mama where she said that. I don't know what that is, but I learned that was a word curse. And my mom is from Jamaica. Okay, she's a Jamaican Jew. My father is Cherokee. So I got both of the best worlds. Okay, my mother told me that I was born with a veil over my face, and she always knew that I was different. I'm the only daughter and the oldest in the family, and I always knew that I was different because I would see things in my bedroom. I saw this Caucasian woman dressed in white with a long stick pin coming after me, and like with a nasty face. I told my mother, and my mother came into the room with some ammonia and some alcohol and wiped down my walls. That spirit never came to me ever again. And so I have seen some things. I remember I used to be in. I hear something.
I muted her.
Okay, I would wake up in the middle of the night praying in tongues. My father and my mother would run to my bedroom and sit by my bed on their knees and say, yes, Lord. Yes, they never shut me down. And I thank God, I thank the Most High and my ancestors who walked in the righteous way, that they protected the gift that I have. And I know that I am called as a generational breaker, to break generational curses off of my family. I know it without a shadow of a doubt. And I was just sharing with Goddess Allison, one of my beautiful spiritual daughters. I said, I remember when I was outside, I have altars inside and around this temple, as you know, because you have stayed here at the temple. And I heard Spirit telling me, your mother has been the matriarch of your family for years, but the mantle that's on your mother, I'm wearing my mother's gown right now. I love wearing my mother's clothes. I love wearing her shoes because there's an anointing in their garments. And as I was in her bedroom a couple of weeks ago, I saw this scarf, and I said, is this mine? And I remember Spirit said, no, that's not yours. That's Priestess Tracey, because I want you to give some of your mother's medicine to this shaman priestess. So I say all that to say this. When Spirit talked to me when I was outside, because I like to give the animals scraps of my food that I have, from my kitchen to feed them, I heard Spirit say to me, the mantle that is on your mother. My mother is 90, as I told you, she's bedridden. My brother takes care of her full time, and he has other people to come in, because we don't believe in putting our family in a home. Oh no, not the Jamaican way that we were taught. And I know a lot of the Jamaican traditions came from Africa. That is our foundation. I heard Spirit say, you are going to receive that mantle from your mother. When my grandmother transitioned in our home, oh, I feel God. My grandmother could not speak, but with her eyes, she looked at my mother and she gave my mother the medicine. And when my cousin Sandra Crouch, we're going to celebrate her homegoing service just
Yes.
next week. My mother was asked to be the speaker at this women's retreat, and Mother Crouch, my auntie, who's also an ancestor, my mother would go there and she would pray for people at the retreat, and my mother would have her eyes closed, and I would stand behind my mother, holding my mother's glasses, holding my mother's anointing oil, holding her white cloth. I was her armor bearer before they even talked about armor bearers.
Mm.
And I would see my mother lay hands on women at the retreat, and they would fall down under the power of God on the floor. That's the medicine from my grandmother to my mother. So I am in preparation, Shaman Priestess Tracey, and all of the beautiful goddesses on this line right now. I'm in preparation for that mantle from my mother to be passed on to me. So I'm asking everybody, oh, I feel the Holy Ghost.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Yes. I'm asking you all, the Coochie Church, and I'm a proud member of the Coochie Church. We need to get some shirts, honey. We need to get some shirts. And I'll be the first one to buy a shirt. I want you to hold space for me as I'm getting ready. When Mama transitions, I don't want to wait until Mama leaves this realm. I'm asking the ancestors. I'm asking the Orishas. I'm asking Great Mother Segment. Asking the 42 laws of my aunt, the GPS of my life, to prepare me as I transition into this new mantle of Aobia shaman priestess worker.
Yes.
I don't play with the Most High. Ooh. I don't play with this gift. I know it is precious. I've seen my loved ones have cancer. I've heard of them having cancer, and I can't reach them in Las Vegas. I can't reach them in Iowa, but I know that the medicine is on me, and I send the word of healing to them. And I see the cancer demon try to come on them in dreams and in visions, and I said, not so.
Come on.
So even though we're not there to lay hands on them physically, all we have to do is live in a righteous way, and our hearts are pure, and our minds are pure, our gifts are pure, and baby, when we send that anointing into the ethers, it destroys every yoke of bondage. You hear what I say? Every yoke of bondage. When one of my cousins was put in jail because he was messing around with a white woman, I told him, I said, I'm going to call you my son now. I said, because now you don't went from cousin to spiritual son. And the medicine that I did with the ancestors and burning candles on the altar. One night I smelled the candle burning. And I said, God, let me go inside the altar. The candle, the white candle, was still burning. And the top of it, the ring of it had cracked a solid circle. And I heard the Holy Ghost say, something is coming, something has broken full circle. It had knocked over my grandmother's picture from the smallest picture I have to the other one. And the ancestors came to me and said, we got him. He is free and clear today. You hear what I say? I walk in a heavy, heavy apostolic and prophetic anointing that was passed down from my great grandmother who's on my altar. When I was a little girl, I used to see her eyes and I said, oh, I was scared of her eyes. Now I'm not scared because I know who I am. And Shaman Priestess Tracey, I want to thank you because my journey started when I came to Atlanta for my Yoni Steam training at Love My Womb Academy. Growing up in the Pentecostal church, we didn't see nobody with no altar. I came to your home. There was an altar with your ancestors on it and pouring libations. We didn't know nothing about that. But when I came back to California, baby, my ancestors told me, you set up your altar and you start pouring your libations. Okay? Baba Dana Swint is the one that told me I was a shaman. I used to run away from that word. I used to think it was something evil. No, baby. No, baby. It is an honor to be called shaman. Yes, I am crazy enough to step into this realm and to go forth in the anointing, the healing, the deliverance, and the restoration that the Most High and the ancestors have placed upon my life. And so yesterday, we were online live with Goddess Oracle Allison Bynum.
Ancestor medium.
Yeah, absolutely. And she has given me her medicine many times. Sometimes we on the phone, and between she and I going in the spirit and praying in tongues, sometimes we blow out the phone, baby. You talking about this Mercury retrograde that only happens 4 times a year for 21 days. Honey, we got our own Mercury retrograde. We blow out the phone. Where the phone just go out because of the power and because of the anointing, the ashe.
Yes.
So I am an oracle. I am a shaman priestess. I do Kemetic Reiki. I was trained in regular Reiki. When I found out the Reiki came from us, I said, wait a minute, I got to get trained by the right source. So Priestess Kajara, I get Priestess Kajara from Raseki Arts Temple. I give her a shout out too, because she is my Kemetic mama.
Yes.
And shaman priestess Tracey. She's a daughter, but she's also a mama to me, Mama T. Yes.
Yes.
And I love you so much. And
I
the
love
womb
you too,
medicine,
guys.
the yoni steam, going into people's home. And when people say, I got something in my house, honey, they call Mama Eva.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm honored.
But I told you before I left, when I was there, I went down, blessed your feet, and
you sure did.
You sure did. I told you you was the medicine woman of that community.
Yes, you did. I'll never forget it.
Yes.
I'll never forget it. And I remember when my spiritual father, who ordained me as an apostle back in 2002, he said, you are Moses to that community. And when I thought about it, I said, when I'm in these all-night prayer meetings, even here in this temple, when I come out of them prayer meetings, baby, there is a shine on my face. I hear things more. I see things more. This one lady saw me in the store about 2 days after I came out of the prayer. This melanated woman, she looked at me in the store and all she said was, oh shit. She knew. She saw it on me. And when I went to go check out my things at the store, that woman was gone. So we are going to upset folks with their demons. Okay? Some of us are called and chosen to upset so that people can get right. And it's up to them to change. We can't change nobody. We just live our life and we let our light shine bright. I don't dim down for nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody. But I love you and I thank you for giving me opportunity to share.
I love you too, Mama Eva. Like she said, she's my sister, but I too call her Mama, because she has what? Big Mama energy. We all coming here, we coming into our divine wisdom. We leaping over that ledge of 30, what? Into Big Mama energy. Big Mama energy is a wisdom and a nourishment,
Yes.
It's not the size, it's the energy, it's the spirit.
Yes, yes.
And that's the matriarch. So I want to thank you, Divine One, for sharing your love, your life, your information, and your medicine with us, as well as within your community. You are valued and we love you.
I love you too, and I thank you.
Yes. All right, we're going to go ahead and end the Coochie Church. It's been 2.5 hours, and I want to tell y'all, I love y'all, honey, because we sure got it in today, didn't we?
Let the church say amen.
Amen, baby. I say amen, and our woman Shondo, as you say. So, anything you want, last words you gotta say, Eve? We're gonna go ahead and pray out.
I just added I love to that.
Okay.
I love.
How can they find you? Tell everybody how they can find you, Eve.
I'm on Instagram at Eve Love 1. Eve Sacred Portal. I think it's evesacredportal.com. That's my website, but I'm just now stepping back into my offerings. But my phone number is 808-209-6651. I would drop it in the chat. I stay on Do Not Disturb when
you might want to drop your email address. People might want to email.
Oh, email
I would suggest putting your phone number out there to the community, because you know this goes up on YouTube, and baby, you had a crazies calling me. The predators be trying to call you, girl.
I know how to block. No.
I forgot. So go ahead. And I also put one of our classes, the Yoni's theme for self-care, Awaken the Goddess Within. That is a free course. Please go to the chat right now and click that link so that you can get that free course. For those of you, is this your first time coming to the Coochie Church and you understand we do, our primary goal is to receive and integrate womb healing as our medicine, because that is the portal of our creation and the portal of our lifeline and how everything is passed. So that's why we are truly honored and big on womb healing. Okay, so Eve, thank you so much, Goddess. We appreciate all your love and support. Anything else?
No, I just say my email is evesacredportal@gmail.
Okay, evesacredportal@gmail. And Mama Eva, tell everybody how they can find you. You came on here, but you didn't tell everybody how you can find them. You came with us in divine blessing, and you didn't tell the people how they can find you. Go ahead and share your information.
Yes. You can find me on Facebook under Yvette Booker. You can also go to my business page on Facebook, which is Eva's Sacred Alchemy, and on Instagram, Alchemy by Eva. You can also give me a call, 661-972-1882. You can call me directly, honey.
Y'all put up the phone.
We put up a phone numbers.
Okay, so look, if they act a fool, their ass is gonna get blocked. We ain't playing.
Yeah.
And you can also contact me at Tracey, the Sacred CEO @gmail.com. If y'all, whoever got my phone number, That's it. There ain't no phone numbers getting put out there on my end. But you can always contact me at Tracey, the Sacred CEO @gmail.com. You can also go to my website, lovemywomb.academy.com. Definitely go to lovemywombacademyonline.com, because there's a bunch of free courses there that will help you to integrate and get connected to your healing. And like I said, I did put the free class in the group because we definitely want you to get started now healing yourself. And you cannot help others to heal when you have not healed. You cannot serve the medicine, administer medicine, when you are not taking the medicine. You are not the medicine. You know, you have to build on that, right? All right, Mother Goddess and Father God, we want to thank you for our divine connection. Thank you for bringing us together under this divine time of planetary alignment, under this sacred energy that you are allowing us to witness. And thank you for us coming into and tapping into our awareness as melanated women, as feminine energy. Thank you for allowing us to tap into our gifts and begin to expose and give us the awareness that we need to go forth and be sovereign within our power, and be sovereign within ourselves, and learning ourselves and understanding who we are as feminine energy, understanding that we are the source of creation, and nothing comes here without feminine energy, nor without being birthed through the womb. They're doing their best to imitate it, but we are the only true creation of that. And we understand that we divine right next to you, holy source of all source. We want to thank the mothers for gathering us together, for us speaking and sharing her wisdom as well as her history down the ancient lifetime of pipeline of information. We also want to thank all of our spirit team, our guides and our ancestors for being present and allowing us to get into formation and share the wisdom and the knowledge and the purpose and the information of how we can liberate ourselves from the grief, from the predatory behaviors, from the pain, from the trauma, and maybe continue to celebrate with love. And in our healing space, continue to celebrate all the things that we have overcome. You said that we shall walk through the valley of the shadow of death, but we shall fear no evil. May we continue to prosper in that, and may we continue to acknowledge you and the source of all of your power and your divinity for our perfect lives and our perfect life, even though we sit with imperfections. May we continue to understand that our flaws and our shadows are in workings for everything that is for the goodness of God and ourselves. And may we continue to go forth, connecting one to another, meeting with our tribe, and definitely connecting and aligning with our purpose. We want to thank the gatekeepers for opening the gates. You can close the gates now. We want to thank the record keepers for opening the seals. You can close the seals now. May we continue to ground to the earth and find support and guidance in that. And may we stay perfectly aligned with your love and your anointing. Ashe, our men and our women, may we go forth, be great, continue to work from a state of purpose, peace, planning, prosperity, abundance, health, happiness, awareness, good relationship, great sexual experiences, and more money and more joy. Ashe, our men and our women. Honey, if I didn't put the prosperity medicine on you,
Thank you.
I receive it. I say.
Ashe. Thank everybody for coming and co-creating space. This is so beautiful.
Yes,
Thank you.
it's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes, thank you. Thank all you goddesses for joining us today. Ashe, have a great Sunday. Peace and blessings.
Peace and
Peace.
blessings.
Love y'all.
Have a great week. And remember,
Love you all.
tomorrow is a great opportunity to set intention and get all that good energy and juju. Don't be scared.
Yes.
And create your water.
Yes.